What's up, guys? Thanks for tuning into another video. My name's Ryan. If you're new to my channel, I talk about all things sales, influence, and the power of you, the power hidden within. And to me, it really comes down to it not being a hidden thing. It's so funny to me that there's all these occult societies, all these secret societies, basically like barring information from people. It's information that really is available to everybody that would just be honest with themselves. I feel like inside of you, like you've had multiple times in your life that you've noticed that you know something about life, you know something about the world, you know something about yourself that people have seemed to not know, or they seem to, anytime like the thought of it comes up, they push it aside and give it some kind of other thing, some kind of other meaning, some other different label, when really it's that first hunch, it's that first idea of when you realize what you are, that is the truth. And every success you've ever had has been from a taste of that. Every success you've ever had, you've tasted that. You've seen that that is true about you. You've seen that the picture that you have about yourself has never been quite very accurate. The limitations you've had about yourself have always been wrong. You've always been able to surpass them. You've always done something greater, something bigger. You've always made more money. You've always helped more people. You've always expressed yourself more than you thought you could have. When you put yourself into the limelight, into the situation that would draw that side of you. And so I was just watching a video by Dan Locke. I didn't realize how much I would like this guy. I actually used to watch him a little bit more back then. Well, not a little bit more, but I watched him a few years back when I was still selling cars, because he came out with a video that was an instruction of like the 3 things that he asked customers. Soon as if he set an appointment, there were 3 things that he needed to know, or 3 things he tried to uncover. I won't go into those. I don't even remember all of them exactly. I know one of them was like, what would you like to get out of your time with me here today? Like, what would you like to get out of your time today, out of this appointment? I realized that when I was selling cars, I didn't ask a lot of people that. That was so important to get on the same page. Because I know I said I wasn't going to go deep into all the different reasons, but if you've been here long enough, you recognize that I tend to sidetrack and I just go with it. So whatever. The thing that needs to happen in sales is like, it doesn't have to be a super aha moment of, oh, this person's on my side. You need to assume that they know that you're on their side, so that you let yourself do your job to the best of your ability. If you're going about your pitch or going about helping them and conversating with them in any certain sort of manner, but you can tell, or you're hyper conscious of the fact that they don't trust you, it's going to affect the way that you communicate. It's going to affect your effectiveness. You're going to prove them right. Because the truth is that it's what you focus on that grows, right? And so same thing happens in sales. Like you'll have a situation, you'll have a customer that comes in for a certain thing, and you're helping them. And throughout this process, they might feel doubts throughout the process, but as so long as you are never doubted, so long as you don't doubt yourself, rather, so long as you never doubt yourself, you keep up this consistent air of, I'm the pro here. I'm going to make sure that you get the absolute best out of your time here. I'm going to make sure that you get the absolute best that I can offer. And in the end, it's going to be your decision. That's actually none of my business, whether you say yes or not, because my job, my purpose here is to be the best that I can be, show you the best presentation, show you the pros and cons of everything, show you how this might change your life. And honestly, the change your life part, that's the part that attracts people the most, I think, is when you sell somebody a product or a service, you know that you're changing their life. You know that they're about to change their own life. You can't really save anybody, but you can provide them with the tools to do it themselves, right? And so when I was in sales, that was kind of a super important thing for me to learn. And Dan Locke, going back to the video I was just watching, he said he always asked himself, why is it that somebody can be 10 times more successful than another person when they're not necessarily 10 times more when their IQ is not necessarily 10 times higher, their hours in the day are not 10 times more, but their success is 10 times more than this person's success. And he said it was, I mean, he turned it into this kind of a cheesy thing. In the end, he just said, how hungry are you for success? However much success you get is how hungry you are. And, you know, honestly, thinking over it, it kind of makes sense, because if you have a plate of food in front of you, if you're really hungry, you're going to eat all of it. If you're so hungry that you ask for a second plate, then you're really, really hungry, aren't you? But if you are served a plate, if you've always had food in front of you, but you never ate it, then the problem wasn't that you didn't have enough opportunities. The problem was not with the external. It was always that you weren't making the most out of what you already had. And honestly, when I first had the idea to go onto this, record myself today, I'm trying to make it a habit in general, but when I first had the idea to come onto this video recording, I had the thought that all of my best work, all of my best interactions with customers, all of the times in my life that I've ever been anything more than I thought I could have been, has always been from an expressionary standpoint. It's never been from the standpoint of like waiting for the external to show me some kind of sign that I could start moving. The movement brought the signs into view. And all they really served for at that point was affirmation, confirmation that, yes, I'm influencing reality. But it always came first from my movement, my first step, my expression, my recognition that there was something not outside of me, but something inside of me that I wanted to experience. I wanted to experience myself more. I wanted to experience myself more and more of who is me, whatever I am, right? And then when I realized time and time again this pattern of like, oh, I did this, and like this shows me that this is the case, and I would read the Bible, and I would read motivational stuff, and I watch videos, and I'd read books like Psycho-Cybernetics, one of my absolute favorites right now that I'm reading right now. And it would all point to the same thing, which was that I always have the power. I have all of the power. And the amount of power that I have is not dictated by anything outside of me, but by myself. I can decide, actually, that my power is limitless. And even if that weren't true, which I think the mind is powerful, I think humans are so immensely powerful that I do think that when you believe that, you make it true. But let's say for a moment that it's not. If it's not true, but you believe that it is, do you think that do you think that you're going to act differently in the world? If you believe that you were limitless, actually believe that. If you believe that your potential is limitless and that at every moment, at every opportunity, you did your best to express it, not because you had to, but because it was an internal desire to express yourself, to experience more of who you were. You weren't searching outside. You were finding that nugget, that golden nugget inside of you, so that you could grab it, grasp it, and consume it, and set it on fire, and do everything you wanted to do, right? Do you not think that you would act differently if you truly believed that that was the case? Anytime anyone's ever believed that they could do something more and they took the chance to match their actions with it, it's always rang true that they decided that that was going to happen. Nothing would have happened had they not made that first step, right? And so that's really what fascinates me, is like being in tune with that at all minutes of the day, as often as I can. And when you know the truth about what you are, who you are, nothing is ever more interesting than that. Nothing is ever more exciting than expressing that, because it's not anymore something that you have to get more of. It's something that you express more of. It's something that you unleash more of. The more you unleash it, the more you taste it. The more you unleash it, the more you see it. The more you see your external reality reflecting back to you the magnificence and the immensity of your power and your willpower. And we all have that. And so I'll just keep it short. I'll leave it at that. We're just under 10 minutes. I appreciate you guys for tuning into the video. If you liked it, give the video a like. And if you liked my videos in general, if you've seen the other ones and you've been wondering if you should subscribe, this is kind of what I tend to talk about. If you like this stuff, subscribe. I'd love to see you in the next one. And I will see you next time. Have a good day. Bye.